How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This video is a little different. It's not a forecast video. I've already done one of those. This one is it's about Nebraska's history with severe weather and tornadoes. Mainly, we're going to be talking about Nebraska's strongest and most devastating tornadoes. So we're on the Tornado Archive website. If you go this, you can find any tornado. You could find every EF. You can see EFU, EF0, EF1, EF2, EF3, EF4, EF5, or F1, F2, F3, F4, F5 tornado that's ever happened in the United States or North America. Because, I mean, you can see some in Canada here too if you really cared. But today we're focusing on Nebraska. Okay? Nebraska's history has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 F5 tornadoes. They've not had an EF5. The EF5 scale came about in 2007. These were all prior. Okay, Nebraska has had an EF4 though. Okay, if any of you guys remember from 2024, it's not on here for some reason. I don't know why, but an EF4 tornado ripped through right here and hit Bennington, Elkhorn areas. Okay, but today the main purpose of this video is to just educate you guys on the state's history of strong to very violent tornadoes. Okay, so the first one we'll go out here out west, west of Oshkosh, Nebraska here. We'll just click on here. So this was an F5 tornado that happened April 26th of 1938. Okay, it was on the ground for 25 miles and it was 1,500 yards wide. Okay, it sadly ended up killing 3 people and injuring 8. Okay. Now, this was in 1938, and out here, I don't know how much it hit. Okay. We can look and see it hit. So it looks like if it hit anything, it was just farmsteads, which is always good, because then my goodness, you know, the devastation probably wasn't as bad. But think of the time it happened. They probably weren't built the best. But that was that one. Now we're going to go a little farther east. And east of Tryon, an F5 occurred on May 22nd, 1933. So this tornado was rated an F5. It was on the ground for 22.2 miles, and it was 1,200 yards wide. Sadly, this one killed 8 and injured 10, but makes sense because it did hit the outskirts of Tryon. Now, Tryon is not a very big town in Nebraska, but I bet you still had people who lived out here, and I bet maybe outer circulation winds might have killed people out here, maybe in town. Okay, but again, this stayed out over mostly rural areas except for Tryon, so probably didn't hit a lot, but the damage that it did do near Tryon was probably sufficient for the F5 rating. Okay, we'll go down here just the south and east of Hastings to east of Deschler or west of Hebron. Here, or Hebron. Yeah, Hebron. We had an F5 tornado that occurred June 5th in 1908. Okay, it was an F5 tornado. Was on the ground for 35 miles. It was 800 yards wide. This one killed 11 and injured 30 people. Okay, so Deschler, it's a decent sized town. Hebron, also another decent sized town. But I think the main damage and injuries, fatalities probably happened outside of Carlton, Nebraska. Maybe west of Geneva, some houses got hit. But that's where I see the most extensive damage happening. Okay, we'll go up here. There's a reason I'm skipping this one because this is the most well-known Nebraska F5 tornado, so I want to save that for last, of the F5s. We'll go up here just to the west of Pender, Nebraska. This was an F5 tornado that occurred April 23rd of 1908. It was on the ground for 15 miles and it was 400 yards wide, sadly killing 3 and injuring 10 people. So, I bet you most of those were probably just outside of Pender, Nebraska, probably just to the west of town, or along just west of Thurston, Nebraska. Alrighty. Now, the well-known one, F5, that happened just south of Hastings. I want to click on it. Why can't I click on it? What the heck? Oh, why did it take it up here? Okay. So this was an F5 tornado that occurred May 5th, 1964. It was on the ground for 80 miles and it was 880 yards wide. This tornado did kill 4 and injure 50 of them, 50 people. If we go here, May 5th. Are there images of the tornado? No, but here's some damage the tornado caused. Wow, tornado damage in county estimated $2.5 to $3 million. Adjust that for inflation. How much would that be now? So yeah, here's the track. Wow. My goodness. Jeez. Wow. Okay, so we got through the F5s. Now, Nebraska has had some pretty significant F to EF4 tornadoes, okay? Like I said, the most recent one being the Bennington EF4 that happened on April 26th. So that's coming up in 9 days. 9 days will be the 1 year of that tornado, okay? Nebraska, though, a lot of Nebraska people will really know this, and they probably already know the area I'm talking about just by seeing the paths, okay? You probably see, don't east of Norfolk here, you probably see 1, 2, 3 tornado paths, okay, that look like they're all connected, okay? This was, these two right here, this one and this one, okay, are known as the Pilger twins, okay? That happened June 16th, 2014, okay? This path was 24 miles long. It was 500 yards wide, killed 1, injured 20, okay? There's comments. The tornado developed about 5.5 miles southwest of the town of Pilger and moved directly northeast, striking the town. The tornado did violent damage within the town of Pilger. Nearly 75% of the structures in town received some damage, while structures near the center of town were completely destroyed. A 5-year-old girl was killed and her mother seriously injured while attempting to take cover from their mobile home to a storm shelter. The tornado continued to move northeast past the town, crossing Highway 275 about 1 mile west of the Cumming County line. The tornado continued northeast, exiting Stanton County about 2.25 miles northeast of the city of Pilger into Cumming County. This is the continuation of the Pilger tornado into Cumming County. In Cumming County, the tornado impacted several rural residences along the path, resulting in significant damage. The tornado was nearly paralleling another violent tornado to the east, and these tornadoes came in close proximity after near X Road and 4.5 Road, where the paths appeared to have crossed, with the tornado in the east continuing to the north, while this tornado continued northeast, crossing into Wayne County about 7.15 miles north of Wisner, Nebraska. This is a continuation of the Pilger tornado that went through Stanton and coming into Wayne County. Once entering the county, the tornado produced violent damage at 2 farmsteads where the houses were completely destroyed down to the foundation. The tornado finally started to narrow and weaken as a new tornado developed to the northeast. As this occurred, the tornado narrowed and accelerated to the east-northeast to the south of the new tornado before finally dissipating. So sad to say that the one fatality was a 5-year-old girl that was just trying to take shelter. Okay. This is the other EF4 tornado that happened the same day, same time. This one went for 11.5 miles and was only 500 yards wide. So this tornado developed to the southeast of the Pilger tornado as it was nearing the town of Pilger. The tornado struck one farmstead in Stanton County along First Road before exiting into Cumming County about 2.5 miles southeast of Pilger. At this farmstead, outbuildings were destroyed, trees were down, and power lines were blown down. This tornado then continued into Cumming County. As the tornado continued from Stanton County into Cumming County, it increased in size and intensity. The tornado crossed the Elkhorn River about 3 miles west of Wisner and then crossed Highway 275, where significant damage was done to a cattle ranch. Over 300 head of cattle were lost here, as well as numerous outbuildings. The tornado continued to the northeast, running nearly parallel to the Pilger tornado for a time, impacting several farmsteads along 4.5 Road. As the tornado neared X Road along 4.5 Road, it directly impacted 2 farmsteads where violent damage was done, including completely destroying 2 houses down to the foundation, destroying outbuildings, lofting vehicles, and debarking trees. A 74-year-old Clarkson, Nebraska resident was killed when the vehicle he was driving was flipped by the tornado. The tornado crossed in front of the Pilger tornado and continued to the north into Wayne County, about 7.25 miles northwest of Wisner, Nebraska. This tornado, after crossing in front of the Pilger tornado, moved out of Cumming County and into Wayne County. The tornado continued for about 2 miles into the county before roping out and dissipating. As the tornado crossed into Wayne County, it impacted a cattle ranch to the north of Y Road, where over 300 head of cattle were killed, as well as destroying outbuildings. As the tornado moved north-northwest while slowing, it impacted a brick home between 8470th and 8480th roads, where the second story was removed, as well as some outside walls. So the one death was the guy in the car. Okay, now right here is where the tornadoes crossed paths. Okay, about X Road and 4.5 Road. Okay, but what's this? Another EF4. On the same day. This went for almost 16 miles and 530 yards wide. This tornado developed as the Pilger tornado was beginning to enter the rope stage. The Pilger tornado rotated around the south side of this developing tornado before completely dissipating. As this tornado moved north along into the east of State Highway 16, it grew in size and intensity. The tornado impacted numerous farmsteads along its path in eastern Wayne County, producing varying degrees of damage, but the tornado was particularly violent in a 2-mile stretch between 853rd and 855th roads, where 4 houses were completely destroyed down to the foundation. The tornado also destroyed outbuildings, power poles, and debarked trees in these locations as well. The tornado became wrapped in rain as it moved to the east of Wakefield. The tornado entered Dixon County about 2.25 miles east of Wakefield. A tornado crossing into Dixon County from the south severely damaged the roof and garage of a farm home. The tornado also blew down power poles and lines and caused tree and crop damage. So no injuries or fatalities with this tornado. Okay, but you can see, I don't think this was the same. Or was it? No, this was 3 years prior. Okay, so you can see that this, and this are all from the same storm system. Same day, okay? Now, when it said this, the Pilger tornado was rotating around this one. And this was known as a satellite tornado to this one. And it had ground speeds of around 94, 95 miles per hour, making it the fastest forward-moving tornado ever recorded. Okay, I think this will probably be the last one, as there isn't any, maybe not, we'll see. Yeah, we'll talk about that one, okay. We'll talk about this one first. Okay, so this one happened in Grand Island, okay, June 3rd, 1980. This tornado was rated an F4. It went for 5.5 miles and it was 1,700 yards wide. It killed 3 and injured 110. Okay, the reason the injuries are so high is this night, Grand Island got hit by 3 tornadoes in the same night. 2 EF3s and 1 EF4. Okay, so this one really impacted residential areas. I mean, and you can see this line right here, this is the core of the tornado, okay? This is the center of the tornado, okay? You can see the EF4 damage is on the north side of the core of the tornado. This one's a little closer, but all the damage appears to be, it's not right in line with the red line here. It was all on the north side of the line, okay? But now, the big kahuna, arguably Nebraska's largest tornado. Put it that way. May 22nd, 2004. F4 tornado. 60 miles on the ground. At its peak width, it was 2.5 miles wide. It killed one, injured 38 people. It grazed the southern part of Wilbur, missed Dakin to the north, and almost hit Hallam head on. Here's the thing. You notice the Pilger tornadoes, right? How the paths are like this, and they got different colors, right? So we've got EF0, EF1, EF2, EF3, EF4 level damage here, right? There's not a single different color other than red this entire path. This tornado had EF4 damage its entire life, all the way through. That's crazy. I do want to show you the tornado, what it looked like, because it was a monster. That's the tornado, folks. That whole thing is the tornado. 2.5 miles wide. This photo right here. Go check out this guy's video, Sweggle Studios, Swegle Studios, Studios. Right? I watched the video. It's very interesting. Go watch it. This whole thing right here, right, will end up being the tornado. The main tornado is right here. You can kind of see it. But this whole thing will end up being the tornado, creating this monster. So that is your history of Nebraska and the most significant or most well-known tornadoes the state has had. Okay. If you enjoyed the video like this and you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that like button. Comment down below what you would like to see next. If you enjoyed a video like this, what state you want me to cover next. Subscribe if you're new and you haven't already. And you know what, I am going to see you in the next one. Peace.